briefing that I referenced a little earlier. He was very critical of Boris Johnson's remarks when the Foreign Secretary compared Russia's hosting of the World Cup to Adolf Hitler's 1936 Olympics. Russia's ambassador said that reference was totally irresponsible. Alexander Yakovenko also said that the British government hasn't provided any evidence that his country is responsible for the poisoning in Salisbury. Let's hear part of what he had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one rule in Britain is to start any statement with a joke. Unfortunately, it's not time to joke. The issue I am going to raise is too serious. On March 2018, we heard media reports announcing that the day before, two Russian citizens, Sergei and Yulia Skripal, were poisoned in Salisbury. Sergei Skripal is one of those who has dual citizenship. First of all, I would like to wish all the victims, including Detective Surgeon Nick Bailey, who also suffered from this incident, speedy recovery and well-being. The embassy has immediately requested the British authorities to share information about the incident and details of the ongoing investigation. Unfortunately, 18 days have passed since the day of the incident, and we have not received any official information from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office or police on the investigation thereof. The British authorities refused to provide samples of the chemical substance. The legitimate consular access to the Russian citizens under the 1963 Vienna Convention and the consular relations have not been granted.
Vladimir Putin has said that the poisonings in Salisbury, that Russia's responsible, that's unimaginable. Let me put to you what's happened to a number of people who are openly critical of Vladimir Putin. Anna Politkovskaya was poisoned, then shot. Who? Anna Politkovskaya. Second, Alexander Litvinenko, a traitor in the president's view, poisoned. Boris Nemtsov, shot. With that track record, sir, how reliable is the word of Vladimir Putin?
I think the word is very reliable because, let me just point out to one simple fact. You mentioned Litvinenko, but you didn't mention Berezovsky, who died here. You didn't mention Perepelichny, who died here in London recently. And of course, I mentioned Glushkov, who died. What is the common, let's say, fact around that? And all the investigations were classified. We didn't have access to any investigation, any papers, and all the materials. So my question, in this country, the people who were linked to the secret services, and we know that Litvinenko worked for the secret services, Berezovsky cooperated with the secret services, Perepelichny, I don't know whether he was an agent or not, and the other guy, Glushkov, we still have to understand that. All of them died, and all of them, the whole investigation information and all the papers were classified and still classified. I'm authorized to say that Moscow considers this kind of statements made under the level of the Foreign Secretary in any way unacceptable and totally irresponsible. The British government is free to make a decision about its participation in the World Cup, but nobody has the right to insult the Russian people who defeated Nazism and lost more than 25 million people by comparing our country to Nazi Germany. That goes beyond the common sense, and we do not think British war veterans, including those of the Arctic convoys, would share this opinion.
Russia's ambassador to London speaking at the Russian embassy in London in the last couple of hours. And we know Theresa May is discussing all of this at the EU summit in Brussels later today as well. So much more coverage of that and the fallout from those comments after 2 o'clock.